Daniel Sports Central will be over a college football game preview and prediction on the big matchup coming up here in the Pac-12 in Week 8 of this 2021 college football season. And it'll be over the Oregon Ducks and the UCLA Bruins. Huge matchup for each of these teams going into Week 8. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Oregon last week beat Cal. 24-17 was the final score there. That was a close game all the way up to the finish there. Cal almost scored at the end of that game, and Oregon, of course, had a big goal line stand there to finish out the game. But either way, win's a win, and this team is 5-1 heading into this game. As for UCLA, they beat Washington there 24-17. Big road win. They are 5-2 with a 2-game winning streak. So obviously you got two very talented football teams here, two of the best teams in the Pac-12. I mean, Oregon is ranked in the top 10 once again, obviously after taking that loss to Stanford a couple of weeks ago. Just a brutal loss there. I mean, for this Oregon team, they're still a college football playoff contender if they win that Stanford game. But either way, there's definitely still a New Year's Six bowl game and a Pac-12 title that is within reach for the Ducks as of right now. But for UCLA, I mean, they could put a big dent into that with a win here. And I mean, UCLA, even them, they're definitely looking like a very good football team as well right now, and still a lot of potential moving forward. Game will be on Saturday, October 23rd in Pasadena, California. So Bruins are the home team for this matchup. It'll be at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Spread currently has UCLA by 2. Over-under is 59. And your FPI is going Oregon here, 53.1%. So obviously your spread and FPI do disagree with each other right now, which is a rare occasion. Series history, UCLA leads at 41-30, but in recent history, Oregon has been the better team. They got a 2-game winning streak, and in the last 5, Oregon leads at 4-1. So obviously overall, UCLA has had more success here in this series, but Oregon recently has had much more success. Here's your stat comparison for this matchup. We got 33 points per game for Oregon, 21 points allowed, 216 pass yards a game, 210 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, 270 passing, and then 137 for rushing. So obviously both pass defenses here are allowing some big numbers. You got nearly 300 yards for passing defense on both sides. So you can expect this to be a big passing game. Just looking at those, I mean, rushing defenses look pretty good so far statistically, especially UCLA is at 91 rush yards allowed per game so far. So definitely be on the lookout for that as we head into this game here. But for UCLA, 33 points per game, 25 points allowed, 205 pass yards a game, 220 rush yards. Then for yards allowed, 290 passing, and then 91 for rushing. Recent matchups for each of these teams here, of course, Oregon has had a couple of close games recently. Obviously, that tough loss to Stanford that was within a touchdown, went into overtime. Obviously, in Stanford, that's a good football team, but if you're Oregon, you got to win that game, especially if you want any chance of making it into the college football playoff, because when you're in the Pac-12 and now, I mean, with Oregon having a loss on the schedule and there's really no other undefeated team in the Pac-12, it's going to be very tough for the Ducks to get into the college football playoff. And really the best hope for Oregon right now is that more upsets keep happening, because, I mean, we've seen some crazy upsets so far this season, and that's a big reason why Cincinnati is number 2 in the nation right now, is because of all the big upsets. So Oregon's got to hope that upon themselves, is that they can keep winning their games and seeing some big upsets in the top 10. But obviously you beat Arizona there 41-19, beat Stony Brook 48-7, and then their signature win over number 3 Ohio State 35-28 on the road. Still one of the craziest games of the year to this point. UCLA beat Washington 24-17, beat Arizona 34-16, lost to Arizona State that was a blowout there, 42-23. Beat Stanford by 11 and lost to Fresno State by 3. So obviously UCLA, this team could easily still be undefeated right now. They've got plenty of talent on this football team, but that Arizona State loss was certainly just a big outlier. I mean, Arizona State's a good football team, but that was just a tough loss there. And obviously Fresno State was also a tough loss, being only by 3. Now for some key points here, obviously Oregon is still very capable of winning the Pac-12. They're probably the favorite for me to win that conference. I mean, we've seen how much potential is on this roster, and we saw, I mean, they beat Ohio State in Columbus a few weeks ago. That was an insane win there. And I mean, we have seen this team, I mean, they had a close game against Cal last week and had a loss to Stanford, but this team, we've seen the level that they can play to, so that's going to be very important moving forward. But they need to play much better than they did last week. I mean, UCLA is a much better football team than Cal. Cal is potentially one of the worst teams in the Pac-12, so obviously that was not the best win there for Oregon, but you got to play much better this week, that's for sure. UCLA, this team has got the talent of a top 25 team for sure. I mean, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is he's playing outstanding this season. I mean, you could argue he's the best quarterback in the Pac-12. Like, you got Jaden Daniels, you got DTR, and I mean, yeah, so he's one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12 for sure. They got the home field as well. Don't forget about that. And overall, I mean, UCLA, this is a football team that, I mean, I could put them in the top 25 right now, even though they got 2 losses, just because, I mean, we've seen also to the level where UCLA can play too. So 2 very talented teams here. And with that being said, let's get to the prediction here for Oregon and UCLA. Gonna go Ducks here. 31-27 is my predicted final score. It's gonna be close. I could easily see either team winning this game. UCLA being at home, all the talent that they have. I mean, it would not surprise me one bit to see UCLA win this game, and that's why the probability is 51% towards Oregon. So that's about as close as it gets. Basically a coin toss here. I mean, Oregon is very talented, but then again, I mean, I trust Dorian Thompson-Robinson more than Anthony Brown. And also, I mean, this Oregon football team just has not played very well the past couple of games. So got to play much better in this game. Like, this is a very important one for Oregon, especially if you want to continue to be a national contender, because I mean, college football playoff chances are still within reason for Oregon. Once again, we've seen some major upsets in the top 10. That's why Cincinnati's number 2 right now, is because of how many upsets we've seen. So Oregon is very capable of getting into the college football playoff if we see a lot of upsets. But if you take another loss, all those chances are out the window. So over-under is 59. I am taking the under in this matchup just barely. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, though, on this matchup. And I appreciate you guys all watching. As always, stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.